Making reusable sandwich wraps is super easy. The inside you can either use beeswax or soya wax. So let's get started. You need 2 squares of 14-inch fabric, one for the lining and one for the outer fabric. The lining fabric we are going to, in this video, use soya wax. So sprinkle the soya wax over the fabric. Make sure you haven't got any loose threads. You don't want those caught up. It's a bit of a guesswork about how much wax to put on, but that's okay. If it's too little, you can add some. If it's too much, we can just add an extra piece of fabric and absorb the excess. So once you've sprinkled some wax on, put some parchment paper, baking paper over to protect your iron. And iron. This will melt the wax, the beeswax or the soya wax. As you can see, I can spread the wax around the fabric. You can see it melting through the paper. Now it's time to check the wax. Make sure you covered every bit of the fabric. I'm just using some spare pieces there. Right, well, let's just have a look at the fabric and see. This looks quite waxy to me. So I am going to make a second beeswax wrap. So I put on my lining fabric here. I just sandwich them together, and this is going to absorb the excess wax from the grey piece of fabric. Just making sure I spread it evenly onto the mustard. There we go. 2 pieces of lining fabric waxed, ready to go. Next up, you've got your outer fabric. You're going to cut 2 corners. I'm just marking 2.5 inches off each edge and cutting diagonally across. There we go. Next up, a piece of Velcro. I'm putting the softer piece on the outer fabric. I've got a piece there about 5 inches. I've sewn it on. Now lay your outer and lining fabrics together, right sides facing each other, and pin round. So one diagonal corner is where you've already got some Velcro stitched. The other diagonal corner you haven't. Start from the one that has no Velcro, from the straight edge, stitch all the way round. I've used about 1/5 of an 1/8 seam allowance, about 1.5 centimetres, 1 centimetre. At the corner, stop and pivot your needle. Now when you get back to your first diagonal corner, you're going to stop at the straight edge, and this is going to give you a turning gap. So stopping here. Now we're going to trim the fabric and those diagonal edges. Be careful not to snip your stitches by accident. Now for the fun part, turning it the right side out. I love this stage. So very close. Once you've got it turned right side out, I like to use a pointy tool of some sort to get those edges a bit neater. So I'm going to just use my fabric scissors here, closed, and that'll just give neater corners. There we go. Now you've got that turning gap and the other piece of Velcro. So finger press in your seam allowance and then place your Velcro in. There we go. Pin in place and top stitch to finish off. Here we go, one sandwich. Super easy. I love these sandwich wraps. Perfect for picnics.